let's do this as I wait for the computer to start recording. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the
let's do this.
ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line as he does almost every week on the show, it is Mike Reyes from Cinemablend. How you doing, man?
Sometimes I'm just pre-recorded, so I'll admit that. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
It was just funny last week. Like, we had touched base, and you got neck deep in Comic-Con, and like at one point, I just didn't hear from you anymore. So I'm like, oh, I guess we're not recording this week.
I am so damn sorry for that because, yeah, it was. I think it was on Thursday, and that was maybe the second roughest day of the con, I want to say.
Well, it was one of those deals where I was like, hey, if you're busy, don't worry about it. Go do Comic-Con, right? You're like, oh, no, I'll have like an hour and a half. You know, I need time, something to fill it. And I'm like, okay. And I tried to get a hold of you to confirm, okay, when is this hour and a half? And I'd never heard. I'm like, okay, he's in Comic-Con. It's fine. So how was Comic-Con? What's your quick, like, 3 things that you really took away from it?
Well, first of all, it was fantastic. First of all, it should have been, I was dumb, thinking that hour and a half would actually be time for me to be like, hold on. It's like, no. The way that everything was scheduled, the way that everything ran, it's like, no, you should know that. You should know that everything is very much in flux because there's not just panels, there's also talking to talent, and there's also having to go do other things maybe try and So, but let's see, the 3 things that I liked the most, let's see. Well, Thursday, we had fantastic Penguin roundtables.
Oh, cool.
And to be able to sit in front of people like Kristen Milioti and Deidre O'Connell and Clancy Brown and Michael Kelly sitting right in front of you both together. Renzi Feliz was there, Vic himself, and then Lauren LaFranc, who is the showrunner and executive producer, just sitting in front of these people and talking about this show that I honestly have grown to love even more every week. That was exceedingly rewarding. And there was also a really cool Dune roundtables too. There were a lot of really cool roundtables. Friday's experiences were amazing because I talked to cast and crew from The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, the anime film that's coming out this fall. And Stephen Colbert moderating that panel was one of the coolest things to have seen live. But then to go and talk to the cast and I did this whole bit that I'm going to put up on TikTok where I did a Lord of the Rings bit with them and they committed to it.
Oh, cool.
And also just learning the enthusiasm these people have for Lord of the Rings. And one of those parties was Philippa Boyens, who has been a producer on the film since Peter Jackson did the first trilogy. And then Blumfest was that same day. So that was Blumhouse's big, all out panel of stuff that they have coming out in the next year or so. And getting on that press line, I geeked out with Jason Blum and told him I loved his Shark Tank episode. And he was happy to hear that.
But did you do it like, my name's Mike Reyes and I love your Shark Tank episode. I just want your jar of blood.
No. I was very professional and very
you practiced this time.
To him about it.
Yes, I'm Mike Reyes from Cinemablend, and I thoroughly enjoyed your Shark Tank episode, my good man.
I'd say somewhere in the middle, maybe.
Okay, perfect.
But then, in addition to that, I got to talk to Christopher Landon, who has this new movie coming out next year called Drop, which has now become one of my most anticipated films of the year. And I mentioned to him, it's like, hey, this is an enclosed real-time thriller. That's kind of like Nick of Time with Johnny Depp. He's like, oh, a Nick of Time fan here. And that just, I also got him to call Jason Blum a mother, because I was like, what do we have to do to get Happy Death Day 3? And it was fun, all in good fun, of course. He looks down the line, he's like, you see that mother over there? Talk to him.
All right, so...
And then one more. Got to talk to Lee Whannell, who who's written and directed the new Wolfman movie that's coming out. He's also one of the co-writers of the Saw franchise. But we fell into a James Bond rabbit hole when I asked him about why the original concept changed, because originally Ryan Gosling was going to make this movie. And when they announced it, it's like, yeah, it's going to be about man gets bitten by a werewolf and he's in the world of network news. And then he explained to me, and I wrote this all up for the site. He's like, yeah, the short version is, yeah, that's a funny movie, but I don't think werewolf movies are that funny. Like, there's always an element of tragedy. And then scheduling and everything got in the way, and eventually it turned into the movie that we're getting now, which we saw a new trailer for and looks fantastic. And then Saturday's highlights were getting to see James Gunn and the Creature Commandos panel together and meeting Amy Schneider from Jeopardy and getting to ask her about whether James Holzhauer should have been competing in season 2 when he already won season 1 of Jeopardy Masters, and learning that there's going to be a How to Train Your Dragon suite at the new Universal Epic Universe hotel.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend on the line with me. All right, so maybe not your favorite story, but what was the biggest story that you think came out of Comic-Con this weekend?
At the Sony panel, they showed us, and the trailer hasn't hit online yet, because I think they're waiting for Venom this weekend. They showed us the first teaser for Karate Kid Legends.
Oh, really?
Yes, and for the folks at home, this is the brand new Lego sequel that is going to merge the Karate Kid 2010 reimagining that starred Jackie Chan, and it's going to merge that with Ralph Macchio's Cobra Kai / Karate Kid franchise.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
For someone that has not seen any of the Karate Kid stuff, this looks fantastic.
I have not watched any of Cobra Kai, and everybody says it's really good.
That's part of what makes me want to actually watch the Karate Kid movies, but then watching this trailer, it just reinforced that. It's like, okay, maybe I have been missing out on this supposed cultural touchstone that I have never partaken in.
Is what's her name going to be in this?
Hilary Swank?
Yeah.
I don't know, because there really hasn't been, I don't think they've touched that character at all in the canon.
I feel like she shows up as a surprise at the end, right?
I mean, it'd be kind of cool, because a lot of people have even asked about that with Cobra Kai. It's like, hey, could she maybe come on and surprise people? And so far, it really hasn't happened, but, never say never.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend on the line with me right now as we talk about the world of entertainment. So that was Comic-Con. Very cool stuff. I'm glad you had a good time, and don't worry about missing last week, okay?
Well, I know, but at the same time, I did kind of feel bad. It's like, I like, how much I like doing this.
No, I know. It's fine. It's fine. All right, so for this week, we are going to be doing a little bit of time travel. Venom 3, we are recording on Thursday. Mike is going to see that tonight. We will add this in at the end tomorrow, what he thought of it. And we talked very shortly about it. I don't want to dive into it too much right now because I don't want to ruin the review part of it. The things I have seen about it are widely different. Like, people either really like this thing or really don't. I haven't seen anybody that was like, it's okay.
I've heard differing opinions as well, because it's just, some people are like, hey, it's a lot of dumb fun, and isn't that what we go to Venom for? And then other people are like, what are you doing? What is this? Where you really lost the plot here.
Yeah.
And of course they keep talking about, they mentioned this at Comic-Con as well. Tom Hardy's like, yes, I want to fight Spider-Man. I want to fight him now. I've had talks with people who are very impassioned about this subject, and they have said, you had your chance. What are you doing? And that's a polite way of putting it, but I have heard some fan rage about, what are you doing? There's
been interesting things about this, because in the trailer, and one other thing I want to put out there real quick of course, on TikTok and Twitter and different places, the post-credit scene, some of the ending stuff is out there. Okay, I don't think that's a surprise to anybody.
I'm not surprised, but I hate it.
Yeah, I know.
It was just like what ended up happening with what was the other movie that had that happen recently?
Everyone.
Joker, I think. Oh, Joker. Joker had that, like, someone had a crystal clear shot of the final shot of Joker on Twitter the night I went for my press screening.
So the other thing I wanted to bring up with this, though, is I thought it was interesting. Did you see the story? Noel, the King in Black, one of the big bad guys in this, you know how they revealed him in the trailer, Did you see the thing about the creators of Noel had no idea he was going to be a part of the movie?
No, I did not.
Apparently,
I had not heard about that.
Apparently, they had no clue that was happening.
Oops.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw the story. I'm like, oh God, I can't believe that. Seems about right, though, for comic book movies,
You would think that they would know, because there'd have to be some sort of notification, like, hey, by the way, we're using your IP. We're using your people. They're going to be on tonight. They're going to be wonderful. We're using your people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You went into that so
hey,
smooth.
By the way, what'd you say?
You went into that so smooth.
It just, for some reason, I heard it coming into mind.
Yeah,
like,
I know. Anyways.
Dark side's coming.
So we'll get to more Venom 3 here at the end. We'll see what Mike has to say about it. Otherwise, movie-wise, not a ton of releases this week. I mean, we are in that part of year where you're just not seeing a lot of that.
Well, I think what happens is that just Venom is the movie this weekend.
Okay.
Like it or hate it, Venom has made money. Venom has made money in the past. It will continue to make money. Well, it'll continue to probably continue to make money this weekend. I don't know. We're living in a post-Folie à Deux universe where things aren't always a surefire hit. So maybe
up is down, left is
really
up.
Don't know.
Nobody knows.
Dogs and cats
living together. Mass hysteria. So, are there any other big movies kind of coming out this weekend?
No. In fact,
Perfect.
I'm just gonna do a quick double check on the
Magpie
schedule.
opening Friday. I'm just reading these off from Fandango. I don't know what any of them are. So.
Well, yeah, but some of that stuff is gonna be some of that stuff will be like limited. Like I think Magpie is limited.
1 million followers.
I could be wrong. Never heard of that.
All you need is blood with flamingos on the front.
Tell me more.
I don't know anything about it. So, I mean, I can click on it.
Flamingos fighting in this movie. I love flamingos. I don't want the flamingos to fight each other.
Okay. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me read this to you, okay?
Okay. Bedtime story.
When a strange meteor lands in the backyard and turns his father into a brain-eating zombie, 16-year-old aspiring director teams up with his friends to create the ultimate student film.
Oh my God, this sounds like Super 8 meets a VHS short.
It does.
I'm in. I hope it's good. Send me the tickets right now.
So, otherwise, all right. So, not a ton of movies coming out this weekend. We'll get to that Venom 3 stuff here in a second. Real quick, before we do get to some of the news and some of the TV review stuff, I was trying to figure out a way to bring this up because we were talking about my trip to Memphis this week. How has there never been a story or a movie done about St. Jude and how that started?
I don't know.
Okay, so
I'm wondering if because wasn't Danny Thomas big with forming St. Jude's?
Yeah, for all you playing along at home that might not listen to the radio show or whatever, earlier this KGGO, the station I work for, is a part of St. Jude Rocks. It's a radiothon that is held in conjunction with Country Cares. And it's a big deal to help raise money for the kids of St. Jude. And at St. Jude, totally a shameless plug for them, but they deserve it. They help kids fight cancer, and there's no billing. They don't even have a billing department at the place. If you have to go there, your one job is to help your kid beat cancer. That's what it comes down to, right? Mm-hmm. It was founded by Danny Thomas, and the story was crazy where he was trying to get work and said a prayer to St. Jude. He got a big break. So then he, put some of the money towards St. Jude and wanted to build an altar to him. And next thing you know, he's got St. Jude's Research Hospital. And it's just shocking to me that there hasn't been a movie about the beginning of that. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that's probably one of the questions. It's like, what's the scope? What point in that story do you tell? And then you'd probably have to get the hospital. You would have to get Danny Thomas's estate on board. Like, there was a lot of boxes that would need to be checked and a lot of safeguards that would need to be reinforced, because there's probably, like, it's not only protection of legacy, but this is a hospital that's still operating. And it's not like you're telling a story about something that doesn't exist anymore. This is something that's still very much living history.
But let me put it like this, though. I could totally see the end credit scene where, they get the hospital, because there's so many different parts. There's that part of it, that it was started by an entertainer, how he got people to come here, how it was integrated from the beginning. You have that version of the story. You have so many levels of this story that it's amazing to me that we haven't seen that movie. And then, the end card, St. Jude continues to, help kids every day or, what have you. But do you know who one of his sons was?
Who?
Do you know who Tony Thomas is?
No.
Producer of feature film Dead Poets Society.
Oh.
The Golden Girls.
Oh. Now I remember seeing that name. It was like Thomas Younger and Witt, I think, were the producers on. Oh, wow.
So that's why I'm like, how has there never been a movie made about this? But anyways, sidetrack completely. So we went and learned about this place. It was awesome. It's a hell of a cool experience. And again, if you get the chance, look up St. Jude and see if you can become a partner in hope, because you help kids fight cancer, and that's always a worthy cause. But one of the things they did for us while we were down there, we got to go to Graceland. Elvis Presley's home,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah, you were saying that.
I wanted to bring this up somehow in this because I just wanted to talk to somebody about it. But I saw something so amazingly disrespectful that it was one of those, you dumb you know, and it was legitimately a get off my lawn moment for me, because they had this thing is done, this conference is done for like radio folks and music people and stuff. And there was a guy, and apparently they started inviting influencers, right? Which I get it. There was this one guy, and I don't think he was a radio person, but I don't know if he was an industry person or an influencer. And I lean towards influencer because they're like, some of this stuff is, you know, like Elvis Presley. I mean, that's holy territory. I mean, that's the king.
Yeah.
This guy starts walking across the backyard at the place trying to get better pictures. I'm like, get off the grass.
You don't yell it like that. You got to go, and you know where I'm going with this. You got to go full Will Ferrell, get off the shed.
But no, seriously, yeah. But it was just one of those things. It's like, really? They just told a story about his last living aunt that lived there. She would, like when they would do tours, she was still living there when their tours were coming through. And she would yell at, like, go outside and chase him off the grass of the place. Like, they just told the story that you're the dip that's going to walk across the grass so you can get a better picture of the place. Come on.
I thought people used drones for stuff like that.
Yeah. So
or
anyway,
selfie sticks.
If you ever get the chance, go down, see Graceland. Very, very cool stuff. I really enjoyed it. Boy, that place is just a time capsule, an absolute time capsule of what it was like, you know, when he passed away. But Mike Reyes from Cinemablend on the line with me right now as we make our way through it. Getting over to some of the other reviews we've been talking about lately. We won't do too much with Agatha because you're an episode or two behind, right?
Yeah, sadly, I am 2 episodes behind, and I can in New York imagine Comic-Con wonder, Comic-Con why Comic-Con.
I'll say I watched the episode this week's episode last night. It had an interesting, I don't want to say twist, but an interesting way they went about the episode. I just don't think they pulled it off very well.
Yeah.
There was some like jump cuts, and the first one they did, you're like, did they f this up? And then all of a sudden it makes sense what's happening.
Ah.
It's kind of hard to explain without just telling you what's happening in it. So I want you to see it, because I'd be interested to see what you thought. It was done okay. Like, I didn't hate the episode by any stretch of the imagination, but I just don't want to go into it too much because I don't want to ruin it for you. So, cool?
No, I get you. I'm trying to think of when the finale is, because I think it might
Halloween.
be next week. Oh.
They've got the 2 last episodes. Yeah. So, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend is on the line with me right now. Now, you were brought it up that you were part of the Penguin stuff at Comic-Con. Have you seen it all the way through?
I am only missing the season finale, and I can really only talk about what's on right now, to be honest.
That's fine. No, I kind of figured it was like that, but I really like this week's episode.
First of all, Sophia taking care of business with that nice little headshot.
She has become
you could have done that any better.
She has become a great villain. Like a great supervillain. Like, if you get anything out of this series, her origin story is really well done.
Oh, yes, it is. And I love the fact that there are now rumors swirling that Kristen Milioti is going to be in the Batman 2, Part 2. Like, there are rumors that Sophia is going to be a huge presence in that film. And I really hope so, because I don't want this season to end with Oz or Sophia winning in the end. I want them to, like, still be going at it. I would love for them to somehow maybe they find a common villain in the Batman and team up, but I want them to stay. I just want both of them to stay because, of course, Colin Farrell has been a rock star as the Penguin, as Oswald, as Oz. But Kristen Milioti has really just stolen this show.
She does bad in a very cool way, and that's hard to do.
Oh yes, because it's like anybody that wants to be a villain like has their certain ideas of villainy and commits to just I'm bad. Yeah, I'm bad. Like listen to how you say that. Like I'm bad. Whereas, the key choice of advice is always like the villain always thinks of themselves as the hero. So they don't think to themselves, I'm bad. They see their objective. And with Sophia, it's like, look, the family is toast. This is mine now. I'm no longer Sophia Falcone. I'm Sophia Gigante. Like, I love that whole choice.
I kind of feel like, I wonder if she's going to turn into something else.
Like?
I don't know, like a different supervillain or something. I don't know. But I will say this. I hope her and Oz make it to the next Batman movie. I would hate to see two great characters not make it that far.
Yeah, and even to that point, I hope Vic makes it. Because Vic is the innocent in all of this. And I like that, but I don't want the kid to. I honestly want him to get to California. If he's not going to be in the next Batman, send that kid out to California.
I still think he's going to become. He's either going to die in a way that makes us hate Oz, or he is going to become something else.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, because it's like, are we really going to go into the Batman liking Oz, and then you see him eventually square off against Robert Pattinson's Batman and think, oh no, I want the bad guy to win. It's like, he's got to do something to really earn his stripes and to be the Penguin that we know. He needs to really get in there and wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. The couple quick notes on this. One, I love how it's kind of the opposite end of the scale for family stuff, where she's murdering her entire family to get power and he's trying to save his mom.
Yeah, and then you look at both of those stories, and they're interesting analogs to the whole fact that what is Batman at its heart built around? It's built around Bruce Wayne grieving the loss of his family.
Yeah.
Whereas Oz is sort of hot and cold with his mom, and Sophia's just she gassed a lot of them and basically gave her little cousin the sort of freedom, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like, she actually, I got to talk to Lauren LaFranc, one of the executive producer and showrunner, and she talked about how the gassing was basically, that happened in episode 4 a couple weeks ago. That was the best way that Sophia could have taken out her family. She's like, I guess she could have stealthily stabbed them and like shot them, but she thought it was fun with the gas because it's clean, it's all in one swoop, and then she gets that. Watching her dance around in a gas mask, was clever and brilliant, and just I can't say enough good things about this show. And one of the best things I can say about it is it doesn't depend on the Batman.
Yeah,
it doesn't depend on you watching that movie or even caring, although it helps. And it's more enriching, and I honestly think if you do like the Penguin, you're not going to have a problem jumping into the Batman.
You know what, though? It almost works against it, because I can remember, because I rewatched that Batman, and don't get me wrong, I liked it, but I did think it was weird when, like, Batman was just standing around with the cops, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it seemed really out of place. It's like, this guy's in a costume. Anybody else feel weird by this? Like, I don't.
Yeah, that was part of the point.
But like, this one seems so much more, and this would be, dumb to say, but seems more based in real world. That the costume Cape Crusader thing, I don't know, like, when you go back to it, it's like, is it going to stick out like a sore thumb?
No, because the costume, I don't think so, because the costume is merely a symbol. And this Batman is still the world's greatest detective.
Okay.
He's still solving crime and kicking ass, but it's what it's supposed to be. It's an intimidation tactic.
Okay.
And also with the villains that we have in here, they're kind of flashy in their own way. I mean, Penguin's, purple sports car, rest in peace. That's a nice little touch. It sort of dances around. I think it sort of dances around the whole thing, the ridiculousness of it all.
I actually, now that I think about it, I've got one other thing to say about this. One real quick thing, because I was talking to my wife and her mom about it last night. But not once do I ever look at Colin Farrell in that costume and think it's Colin Farrell in a fat suit. Like they've done a really good job, not only with him, like his acting ability with this, but like the character itself. Like I don't ever think of it as some guy in a fat suit. Like when you saw Thor in the fat suit, you knew it was he's in a fat suit. They did a really good job of that. So I really enjoy that. But the other thing, it was weird when he laid down with his mom in bed the way he did.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I can't ever imagine like spooning with my mom and putting an arm around her. That part weirded me out a little bit. I'm not going to lie. And you know what? Maybe there's people out there that, that they have that level of closeness with their mom. I am not one of them. I mean, I never thought of it as that creepy because it's just he does love his mom, but we know he doesn't love his mom.
Like I would have bought it more if he went like, kneeled down next to the bed and, rested his arms on the side or whatever. That I buy. I don't know why. I'm like, oh, sons do that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's normal.
Yeah. You know what, though? In that scene, I did think he was going to kill his mom.
I almost did, too. Because doesn't she say something earlier in the episode?
Yeah, but the way he's kind of saying it, she kind of says something like, somebody says something about, well, this is a way to protect you or something. I'm like, he's going to murder her. So anyways.
Protect what's dead.
Exactly. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend on the line with me right now. A couple real quick hits. What was the other show you were talking about? Oh, What We Do in the Shadows. That's
Matlock.
back?
Yes, What We Do in the Shadows is back, and the new Matlock.
Matlock. Yeah. That's the one with Kathy Bates you were telling me?
Yes.
Why is it good?
It is very good. Well, there's whole premise that's built into it. Well, there's a whole premise that's built into it that I kind of don't want to ruin.
Okay.
Even though people are probably watching it right now, and it may be out. I mean, the first episode's been out for over a month, but there is a twist to all right, fine, I'm just going to talk about it, but if you don't want to know and haven't watched it from the beginning, this is your chance to turn away. The whole twist to it is there's the whole device of basically Maddie Matlock is her character, where she's like, yeah, like the TV show. It's a front. She's a former trial lawyer who says that her husband is dead and she's broke and she needs a job at this law firm. She's rich. Her husband's still alive. And the whole thing is she's trying to find out who withheld documents that kept prescription drugs like an opioid on the market that basically her daughter was addicted to and died from.
Oh.
So now you've got the case of the week meets like a double agent alias sort of scenario.
Okay, so it's not exactly like the original TV show then, right?
No, it is not.
Okay.
It is not just, we're trying cases every week, but then she has to work around what those cases present as obstacles in order to keep herself in the game for trying to get the information she needs.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. That's a good thing. All right, cool. Well, that looks like another episode is coming out.
We're recording on Thursday, and it'll be on tonight, 9 p.m. on CBS. And if you miss it, you can always go to
there was an episode
Paramount
last week, Rome in a Day.
Yes, and tonight is A Guy Named Greg.
Everybody. I just remembered something.
Not a boy named Sue, but a guy named Greg, and Matlock's gonna punch him in the head.
It is.
What?
Yes!
What happened?
Yes!
What happened?
I forgot about it. Star Trek Lower Decks, the season 5, 2 episodes dropped today.
But at the same time, it's sad because it's the final season.
I know, but it looks so amazing. God, do I love that show.
That is a show I need to catch up on because the select episodes I've seen, I absolutely love. Like, the Star Trek fandom's clear. Moopsy's whole episode is like a Jurassic Park takeoff. is a hell of a
Badgie.
character. Like, the stuff that I've seen, I love so much.
I'll see if I can watch it tonight, and I can give you a quick rundown of it. It's just it was, and I've said this before. It was a version of Star Trek that I did not like when the first season. I think they had to, much like any Star Trek, they had to dial in the what they were doing and all that. And I think once they kind of figured it out, it got really good really quick.
I like when shows are given that sort of grace. As much as I'm not a fan of The Office, I do understand that once the first season was out of the way, the show got better. A lot of people say the same for Parks and Rec.
So, a bunch of shows that I don't watch. So, yeah, I've got something to watch tonight. That's awesome. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend on the line with me right now. All right, that'll wrap up the this portion of it. We'll be back with probably a review, my toilet review of Lower Decks. And, of course, we'll find out from Mike what we think of Venom Volume 3 and 4, Don't Dance with Spider-Man.
Venom 3, Venom The Last Dance.
It seems like a really dumb name, right?
It does, until you go into how you think about how it might have been done to, like, I don't know, someone might have been watching the documentary on ESPN and thought, that's a good idea.
Just seems like if you say The Last Dance, it kind of leads to that you're trying to end it. And then when you don't end it, it's going to be like, okay, I get it. You just wanted to make more money.
Well, that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to end the Venom stuff.
Just want Venom to be scary.
A lot of people want that. A lot of people want that to be just wanted it to be R-rated, especially with Carnage.
Well, real quick, hey, okay, hear me out on something real quick, okay? You know how in the trailer they show the guy capturing the little piece of Venom that went off? Let's say Venom does die in this, okay?
Okay.
It regrows from that. It's Venom, but attaches to Tom Hardy or whoever. And that's where we get the scary Venom, because it's not quite the Venom it was. And then it goes
scary Venom.
And then it goes to the Eddie Brock of the MCU.
Huh.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a way to do it, because it still bugs me that you did this backwards.
That seems like a very Mandarin sort of move.
So, all right, Mike Reyes. You. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend joins me every week to talk about movies.
That wasn't the real Eddie Brock. This is the real Eddie Brock.
Oh, this is Edward Brock, a mother. All right, we'll do some time machine noise. Jesus, I just want to end. Venom stuff coming up in 3, 2. Oh,
I might just make myself a happier human being. Don't tell me what to do.
I don't even think we need a sound effect this week, ladies and gentlemen. Back after. There you go. It was fine. I just liked that line. That was a spectacular line. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for day 2 of this review session as Mike Reyes went and saw Venom 3 last night. The Dance Within.
Yeah, I did. Venom, the Last Dance in the Hall of the Mountain King.
Gotcha. So what do we think of this thing, Mike?
I mean, I think it's the best Venom movie that's been put out. But that's like being the most New York Spider-Man in the room.
That's like being the most popular guy in prison.
It's okay.
Okay.
I honestly do think it is the best Venom movie, because it's the one that feels most assured in being itself. Venom knows what it is. It is marketing itself for what it is, and you are either with it or you're not. That's just no question. And I'm just not really with it. Like, it's Tom Hardy and Venom are a good pair. I like the Tom Hardy incarnation of this character. I know it's not the one that people would really wanted when they said they were making a Venom movie. I like his goofiness in the character. And then I also like his just sort of cluelessness as Eddie Brock. Like, it's usually the formula is Eddie is clueless about something and Venom is just going with no thoughts, just vibes. You've got that again in a movie that has, I guess, the most stakes of a Venom movie, but the story is just kind of here, there, everywhere. There's not a lot of explanation as to why certain things are a threat, or some things aren't really set up. They just kind of happen. And there's also just, the whole Venom road movie thing. And it's like, okay, I like the concept, but you could have done this a little better. But, And then, of course, there is the stock. We're going to set this villain up for further. He will be important. I like to call it important to the trilogy. That's just one of those patterns where it's like you throw in a big actor in a role in like the first installment of a trilogy that's supposed to come out, and it's like, oh yeah, they'll be important to the trilogy. It's like, okay, we got them for a small scene now, but if we really get into the big leagues, they'll be back. Okay. More money, more time.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend on the line with me right now talking about Venom 3. All right, that's the non-spoiler version of this. I do want to dive into some of this because I have seen a few clips on this, and I want to ask if some of my assumptions are correct.
Okay, this is spoilers in 3, 2, Venom!
One, I've seen the final fight scene, and do you remember the big complaint? You didn't like Transformers, but like one of the big complaints about like Transformers were the Decepticons. You couldn't really tell them apart. They all kind of looked the same. Yeah. The fights were just a lot of like things happening that you couldn't really tell. I got the feeling from this one of the scenes I saw, the final battle, where it's like this is just a lot of things happening at once. Correct? Not correct?
The final battle isn't really that much of a mess. Like I'm kind of surprised now that I think about it. It's like it is just a bunch of symbiotes fighting the creature that's been sent by Null to go get the codex that will unlock him from his prison and let him be the new potential Thanos for the Sony Marvel adjacent universe. I forget the name of Sony's corner of Marvel, because there's like a special like drawn out sort of name. I think it's like Sony's Spider-Man universe.
Got real creative on that one.
Yeah, Sony Spider-Man universe, the SSU.
Okay. I just my other thought is they revealed Null in the trailer, and we really don't see him throughout this, right?
No, we see glimpses. Okay. He like opens the movie. We see a couple things here and there in the middle, and then he is one of the mid-credit scenes.
Okay.
Which is big, bad, threatening. It's trying to be their version of like Thanos smiling at the end of Avengers. But it's a waste of Andy Serkis too. Because like Andy Serkis is just this brilliant performer, and he certainly seems to be, you know, making a meal of it, having fun, but he doesn't get to do much. And then that last threat just kind of feels hollow, because it's like, first of all, this is Venom: The Last Dance. Why are you setting this up now?
That's kind of what I was thinking with it. Scene. Give me 1 second. It seems like I saw the clip of what you're talking about, and it seems like I feel like this is going to be one of those wasted after credit scenes, like the end of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, when you get to start see the Sinister Six, and then nothing ever happens.
Yeah, that's one I'm still pretty sore about. I was even talking with the theater attendants last night before I went in, and we were all talking about Spider-Man in general, and it's like, yeah, we were supposed to get the Sinister Six, and
the beeps
Andrew
and the bops.
Garfield never got a fair shake.
All right.
Yeah, Andrew Garfield never got a fair shake, and I agree with that. And just
okay, so this really is one of those things. If you dig these movies, you're gonna like it. If you're not, there's nothing that there's gonna do that can change that, right?
Pretty much. I mean, there's scenes in here that I know are supposed to be emotional. It's supposed to be the farewell to an era, and I'm sorry, I can't take your Venom finale seriously when you're playing Maroon 5's Memories.
That's an interesting choice.
That is a very interesting choice in a Venom movie that had Eminem provide a single for the first one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You know, even just the music itself is like the score for this one is pretty synth heavy, and like there's some really good songs and throughout the credits run. But then that just drops in, and it's like that was really the choice here for Venom was Adam Levine, like Venom is dead, now he's gone to his home planet. Maybe he's not dead. Watch the end credits, because we don't know what's going to happen. Like,
how long before someone takes the post-credit scene of Venom on whether or not he's still alive or not and does the Michael Bay treatment to it that's been on TikTok lately?
If it doesn't happen by the end of this weekend, I'm going to be upset, and I think it'll be time to really question where we're heading as a culture. That should already be on the internet. Also, this is no way of condoning piracy. I do not condone piracy. Put your phone away. Watch the movie.
No, you do it. You live.
No, we're not going to be doing that here.
Oh, why? You can't stop me, Mike Reyes.
Well, I was just trying to help perpetuate the bit because I love when that pops up. Like, I have never watched a shred of Ted Lasso, but I really do need to because I love what I've seen of Jason. I love what I've seen of all the characters, but Jason Sudeikis is sort of like wholesome gremlin energy as this character. It's like, I definitely need some more of that.
Yeah, I agree. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend joins me every week to talk about movies. I watched 1.5 episodes of Lower Decks last night, and I loved it. So I don't think you really care
Very
that much,
nice.
but
I do care. Did you not hear me? Was that not in the previous recording where I was like, I need to watch this show because it's hysterical and I like what I've seen of it, and the writers are very good at making Star Trek jokes while also just sending up culture?
I got to a point last night where I started the second episode, and then something happened, and I forgot to go back to it, and I ended up watching like TikTok until about 12:30 this morning. So TikTok is a time vampire, man.
That's a ringing endorsement.
I just forgot. I coming home off a trip.
No, I get you.
Put kids to bed, trying to get our stuff edited last night. Kid yelling at me. Sorry. Brain shut off for a few minutes. What do you want?
I want your undivided attention.
I'm doing the best I can, man.
You poor little lamb.
And I don't know why, but the Lethal Weapon speech just went in my head.
Which one?
And I got a special bullet, so it blows the back of my head.
Oh.
But more not that part, but
also...
not that part, but the part where he's like, every single day.
Yeah, the Christmas tree lot.
No, like, with the, never mind.
Okay.
See, and I went into Lethal Weapon 2 there. Joe Pesci.
I keep forgetting Pesci came in with 2.
I know, right?
3 was the one where they really made the big... I thought it was 3, because that's the one where they really made the big deal about him.
Yeah, he became a bigger part of it. In 2, he was just like... He was a guy that they had to just watch. Those are good movies.
You know what was really cool? Back when I was a kid, over at Six Flags over here, they had Six Flags Great Adventure, to be more specific. They had a Lethal Weapon water stunt show.
Oh, cool.
And it was like, it was like, I think maybe 15, 20 minutes, and you were sitting in the stands, and it was like, they basically kind of cribbed the plot from Lethal Weapon 2 and turned it into a theme park show, where it's like bad guy from a vaguely foreign nation has his yacht, and then you've got like jet skis and Briggs and Murtaugh taking the fight to him. Leo was trying to sell the yacht at first. Oh. And it's like, nope, this isn't yours to sell. And he's like, oh, no, Riggs, Murtaugh, come and help. And then it ends with, like, the nice big explosion that looks like it's sinking the yacht, but it didn't. It was an awesome thing.
I would like to see another one of those, not so much Mel Gibson and Danny Glover as the two leads of it, but them a part of it in that world.
So like a sequel.
Like, yeah.
They've already got Lethal Weapon 5 in development, and Mel Gibson might be directing it, so...
Okay.
We shall see.
Well, I kind of, it kind of goes to the latest Beverly Hills Cop movie where it was, I liked it, the way they did it. It fit the universe, you know?
Yeah, no, that was really interesting.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend joins me every week to talk about movies. We'll end it there. Mike, you have yourself a wonderful, fantastic, Venom-filled weekend. Yes. Venom.
You too, man. And hey, everybody, don't forget that there's two new Predator movies coming out next year.
Oh yeah. I forgot again, didn't I?
That's okay, because it kind of fits the announcement, because out of nowhere yesterday, Steve Asbell, the president of 20th Century Studios, was asked about various franchises that have been, hits as of late. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is apparently getting a sequel for 2027. Alien Romulus is now getting a sequel that's going to focus on Rain and Andy, the characters from the film we got this summer.
Okay.
And then not only one, but 2 Predator movies from Dan Trachtenberg, who directed Prey. Because apparently when they asked him, what do you want to do next? He's like, I don't want to do Prey 2, but I've got these 2 really cool ideas. And apparently they were enough that they're like, yeah, we'll make both of them. And the suggestion is this secret movie, which they can't really talk about right now, is going to come out before the next one called Badlands, which stars Elle Fanning. And what might be happening is I think this secret one's going to go to Hulu, and then the next one, Badlands, is going to go theatrical. And I'm wondering if this secret movie is some sort of, it probably connects to that story, because otherwise why does it have to come out before the theatrical one?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're like, cool, we'll make this as like an appetizer for people to watch at home and then get everyone out to the theater to see Badlands, because I'm still mad that I didn't get to see Prey in the theater. And I hope that maybe they consider doing like a re-release or a full release when they're prepping for Badlands and this other film.
Prey was really good.
Prey f***ing rocked.
Prey was amazing. Real quick though, I have an idea for
like
a Predator
Prey
movie.
And oh,
I just because they, you know where I would like to see them put a Predator, and just hear me out on this, okay?
Where?
Like,
okay,
work it into like world history, like that was Prey was kind of in a unnamed corner of Native American history, right? What if you drop the Predator into like the Battle of Gettysburg? History remembers it as the North versus the South, but you go back and you see the real stuff, and it's like the North and South were going to fight, but then there is something here murdering a lot of people.
You basically want to pull a Transformers Dark of the Moon, where it's like, hey, guess what? Those moments we lost on the recording were really Transformers being discovered.
No, but history still remembers it as, the Battle of Gettysburg. Like, they're not calling into question that. You're just seeing the real. But I want to do it well. I mean, there's already been conspiracies about the moon landing and all that. Like, that wasn't a new concept when they did that in Dark of the Moon. They just twisted it into their thing. But what I did like about that, the Chernobyl part, where it was actually a piece of tech they were messing with, and that's what kind of led to everything.
Well, I don't remember that. Oh, damn.
Yeah, they at one part they're in like Chernobyl or whatever, and they find out that it was it Dark of the Moon? They kind of run together at this point, but they were at like Chernobyl, and there was like a piece of Transformers tech that they were experimenting on that led to the meltdown.
Oh.
But anyways, no, I wonder what that movie would look like with the Predator. He's in the war, and they're actually fighting like 3 Predators, and that's why it's one of the most bloody battles in history.
Yeah, not man's inhumanity to man or creating horrible, deadly weapons that were made to wipe people off the map. It was just aliens.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't see the problem here. Alien came down and you kill it. All right, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joins me every week to talk about movies. Mike, you have yourself a good weekend.
You too.